Alright, so I'm low-key not the happiest right now. So yesterday I was recording part 4 of the biggest jumps, and I finished recording, did all that. I started editing, and I made a lot of progress. It was a long video, so I didn't finish it, but I made a lot of progress. I come back today, and for some reason I cannot open that file right now. I was gonna finish that and upload this, or upload that instead of this video, but for some reason I can't open the file and I can't finish what I was doing. So that means I'm either going to have to restart or postpone when that eventually comes out, and that's not what I wanted. So I recorded this before that, and I decided to edit this instead because I wanted to post something, but I'm sorry. We'll try to get part 4 tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Just yesterday, I officially beat my new hardest level, Terminal Rampancy. Now, after I beat that level, I kind of wanted to take a trip down memory lane just a little bit from when I started originally beating demon levels, and just looking back and seeing how fun these levels are, at least for me today. I'm not going to really be playing these, but I do want to discuss them because I think I had an interesting way of progression, and some of these levels you might have not heard of, and I kind of want to put some of y'all on if you guys are trying to get into demons of any kind. So we have a tier list again, and here are all of my hardest demon levels, excluding Clubstep, Theory Everything 2, and Deadlocked, because those are technically my first 3, and those are boring. I don't want to rank those. So we're just doing user demons. My hardest levels. My first ever user demon, IS, right here. Also, this is out of order for some reason. I'm not sure why it is. Actually gonna fix that right now. I think this should now be in the appropriate order. So starting off with IS. This is literally the first level on the GDDP. You see right here, first thing you see, beginner tier, you see IS. This is an overall level. And on the references for tier 1, the easiest easy demons, you also see IS right here. So yeah, that's why I picked this one, and I honestly really like it. I think it's actually really fun. I think it's really cool. The music I think is solid. Decoration is solid. The gameplay itself is solid. It has a lot to help you improve at the game. I'm throwing this right in A tier. I think this is a really good start for me personally. Right, next we have Problematic. I can't remember if I beat this first or this first. Very iconic level. Definitely good if you want to get better at Wave. For sure a step up in difficulty from anything I've placed because I wasn't good at Wave at the time, and I'm still not good at Wave. I do think this was good. Not quite IS though. A lot of people, or not a lot of people, but some people do this as their first demon, and I personally wouldn't recommend it. It's not bad though. The pre-drop is pretty annoying though, I will be honest. But it does get consistent, and I did have like a decent time. I was really charmed by playing these easy demons at the time. I really felt like I was actually improving. I think I'm gonna slap this in B tier for now. Might move it up later, but I think it's good here. I think it's just all right, pretty solid, decent. All right, next we have Nothing. I have such a soft spot for this level. This level is really cool, but it also has really hard shit for easy demon gameplay, I think. Like, it is actually pretty tight, and it was actually struggling for me to beat it originally. I feel like more people should play this level. I think this level is really good if you want to improve at like actual ship gameplay. It's not just straight fly. You have to actually weave in and out, like go up and down and spikes. And I think that gameplay really works. I'm throwing this in A tier as well. I think this is a really good level. Not quite on the level as is though. All right, now we have Decode. This is a very popular level, and I think this was a fun-ish experience. I didn't like learning the UFO. That UFO was kind of like hard for easy demon gameplay. I would say that gameplay is more medium demon for me. Obviously, you have the iconic last wave that needs no introduction, and it looks intimidating, but it's not that bad. Definitely harder than the level so far, but I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's quite as good as these two up here, but I think it is better than Problematic, so we're gonna move it there. All right, now we have Verity. This is my first medium demon, and gotta be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this. There were a few really annoying parts. I think there's a wave part at the very beginning that is pretty difficult to get used to. It also starts off with a really annoying Michigan triple spike. I hate levels that do it like that. The ending is pretty hard, and it has this really annoying robot section in the middle of the level too. This is definitely a C tier for me. Definitely not to the same standard as these other. All right, a little bit more of an unknown one. We have Nitrogen. This level was also frustrating, but it's also because this is a big step up, it felt like, from Verity. This level was just hard in every single case for me. The level I think is actually decently good. It was just not the best experience for me at the time. I think if I was like had hard demons and insane demons, working back down to this would have been a breeze. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in C tier as well. My medium demon hardest were not the greatest, I can't lie. There were other mediums that I ended up beating in between, and I think those were just better than these two, unfortunately. All right, next we have Crazy. This is quite a step up from Nitrogen, my first hard demon, and I'm gonna throw this in B tier. I really did enjoy this level a little bit. I think the beginning got really consistent. There are a few pretty annoying timings in the drop though. That's just the reality of moving up a difficulty. It is what it is. It happens, but I don't think it was too bad. All right, next we have Future Funk. Now, I'm not sure how hard this is between like this and Crazy. I was on the fence and I still am now. I'm not entirely sure what is harder even to this day, and I don't really plan to figure that out. Future Funk is also very iconic. Obviously, many new players flock to this as their first hard demon. It feels like a level that you just have to do, and it felt like that for me as well. Even a couple years ago, I felt like I had to do this level. And I did, not without dying twice to 99%. That was not a fun experience, but overall, the level was good. We're gonna stick this in B tier as well. I think this was better than Decode, but not quite as good as Crazy. I still think Crazy's better. Okay, may not recognize this one. This is called Frostbound. So I ended up playing this level because I wanted a harder hard demon. This was at first a tier 14, but it's been moved up to a tier 15 ever since. And I wanted to play something to help bridge the gap between this and Insane Demons, and I think it did just that. The song in this level is In Circles by Creo. I really like the song. I really enjoyed the vibe that I got from this. I believe I was playing this like in like the wintertime. There was one part in like the second drop that was really annoying, but eventually it got consistent and I actually had a good time with this. Let's see, definitely not A tier. I think I'm putting this in B tier as well. Dude, this B tier is looking kind of weird now. We got 5 levels in here. All right, this is Supersonic. So the reason why I like this level so much, I tried to jump to this from Verity before, and I ended up getting 67%. 6-7. But I ended up getting that, and I kind of dropped it afterwards because I just didn't feel like playing it anymore. And I'm gonna be honest, this level has its flaws for sure. I thankfully ended up fluking it from 67 after I came back to it for my first Insane Demon, so I didn't really have any of the unlucky stuff. But overall, this level is still not that good. Level's legendary, super popular. I believe it is the most popular Insane Demon in the game. Click Insane Demons. You'll see this show up. Just to test this theory. Yep, this is the most liked Insane Demon in the game for some reason. Crazy 3 is the second most liked. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's so liked. I think it's just legendary again because of 1.9, but playing this now doesn't really hold up very well in my opinion. I'm gonna stick this at the top of C tier. I just don't think it's as good as these other levels up here. All right, now we have 8-0, another very popular Insane Demon. And I beat this after Supersonic. Or no, I beat this after I played Crazy 2, but it's just not as hard as Supersonic. And then I beat this, which I do think is harder than Supersonic. Yeah, 8-0. What do I feel about 8-0? Well, first of all, we have to talk about the UFO sections, specifically the last 2. Those are horrid. I think I fluked the last one, but I did not fluke the second to last one. Those are just not good parts. But I will say this level does get consistent because you're playing the beginning. The beginning is pretty easy. The ship parts aren't that hard once you get used to them, and then the first UFO parts are pretty chill. It kind of ramps up in towards the end, just like another level we have on this list. And I like it, but it's not great. It's not amazing. This is going to be the bottom of B tier for me so far. All right, now we have EVW's level. Well, it was inspired by, or what it was dedicated to EVW. Subterranean Animism. I think more people should play this level. This is a hard, insane demon. It's, I think, like a tier 19. Just going to fact check it. It is right here, tier 19. Yeah, this level's pretty solid, actually. Now, this would be an A tier level if I didn't have a bad experience. Because experience is considered into this. I can't, like, separate that. I think all these levels have their charm, but my fortune with the end of this was not pleasant, and that kind of dragged the experience down. And there were just some parts that never got consistent for me. I just couldn't figure them out. Because of this, we are going to put this towards the top of B tier, just like the other million levels we have in B tier. All right, here we have a level that nobody does as their first extreme. We are now into Extreme Demons. Deception Dive, and this might be a surprise. Put this in S tier. I have beaten this level 3 times. I'm not sure why I have, but I have. I actually really enjoyed it. Deception Dive has its charm from the fact that it's hilariously unbalanced. The beginning of the level is super easy. You will see like 7-star gameplay in it, and the end of the level is incredibly hard, and it's where most people have a lot of their problems with it, and it makes sense. It's also not the shortest level ever, so that has its issue. But for me, I didn't care. I enjoyed playing this. I wasn't even gonna do this as my first extreme, but I dropped the other level that I had for this, and this was better. Also, we have to talk about the song is Elite. I love this song. Like, I had this as my menu music for such a long time. really have to justify this placement for myself. I love this level, and it's going to be an S tier. All right, now we have Sigma Interface, probably the most calm extreme demon I think I've ever beaten. Maybe between this and Roby. They're for sure the calmest, hardest that I've beaten. There's just something about this level. It's slow, but that has the charm for me. The decoration style, the slow, the music, I think it all works, and this level thrives off of it for that reason. A lot of people think it's boring. I thought it was pretty fun. I was pretty engaged. Sticking this right in between IS and nothing. A tier experience. All right, now we have Blade of Justice. Here's when the level is actually getting like pretty good. Blade of Justice, I think, is amazing. It's legendary, obviously, and I had to dreamed about doing this as my hardest. The duel took me a minute to get used to, but like once you get used to it, it's really consistent. I think it's really fun. The only part that I don't really like, or parts, is the beginning. First 15% I wasn't really the biggest fan of, particularly the first robot and the wave section. And then towards the end, there's this UFO at like 60 something. I found that kind of RNG. You could like mess up a click early and not die until like 10 or like 6 seconds later. It's pretty annoying. Other than that, it's pretty solid. I think I put this as a low A tier. I did enjoy it, and I didn't get super unlucky with it either, so that helped. All right, now we have another banger, Ethereal Artifice here. And this is going in S tier. There is no real question about it. I loved grinding this level. I loved trying to get consistent with it. I loved how hard the level looked, how much I felt like I was actually improving at the game. Everything works for this, in my opinion. The gameplay is incredible. The decoration is solid. It has good music. I like how it switches from red to green in the middle of the level. I don't really think this needs much of a question. This level is amazing. All right, now we have Smarleyville. Okay, so unfortunately, this level has one major problem, and it's gonna hold it back a lot. The very beginning of this level, I really hate. It is just way too hard. To this day, I feel like this is one of the hardest parts in any level I've ever played, and that's kind of funny to say because there's a list demon on here, and this level is easier than Sonic Wave. That sounds ridiculous, and I really do stand by it. Doing this level without the skip, because I never learned how to do the skip, this is like ridiculously hard. And for that experience alone, I have to throw this in D tier. I can't put this any higher because most of my attempts, like thousands and thousands of my attempts, were just dying to this beginning, and that sucks. I can't believe I stuck through this and bothered to continue playing it, because that is a surprise to me. Alright, now we have Sigma. And I think this is also an S tier. I really enjoyed learning this. This was definitely one of the learnier levels, definitely more of the jank levels. And I am aware that there are a bunch of like glitches apparently. I didn't get any when I was playing it, so that didn't really have an effect on me. I also fluked this level from like 70, which is really nice. Yeah, not much else to say. Legendary series this is in. I haven't beaten Omega yet, but maybe one day. Now we have Atomic Cannon, because I'm not sure which is harder between this and Sigma. They are very close on the list. So here we have Sigma at 233, and then 240 is Atomic Cannon. So this has it higher, but these are still really close. Atomic Cannon was rough because there's a lot of fast like CPS parts that I struggled with a lot. It's a timing-based level, very difficult, but still pretty good. It was satisfying learning it and figuring it out. And because of that, I'm going to throw this in A tier. Not quite S, not quite as good as the rest of these levels, I think, but it's still solid. And last but not least, we have the level I beat yesterday. If you watched that video, you will probably have no reason to question what I'm about to do right now. Right now, we have S, A, B, C, and D tier. I think you know what's coming next. Yeah, F tier. And it's not even close. This, by far, is the worst experience I've ever had in this game. It's the most unlucky I've been with any hardest in this game. It's the worst death I've had on any hardest in this game. I mean, except for Future Funk, I guess. There is nothing I can say about this level. And the fact that it's not going to get accepted on the list because I, messed up the recording thing, doesn't make it any better. So, yeah, I don't think I need to justify this at all. I wanted to like this level so bad, and I just can't. Unfortunately, it's just one of those experiences that just ruin the perception of the level. It is what it is. And yeah, I guess that is my tier list of my personal hardest levels. There might have been a lot that you have not seen, and that's kind of what I wanted. I want to put people on to some of these levels. So I think some of these levels deserve a lot of recognition. Like Nothing, I think is pretty good. And like Frostbound, I think some people should beat this. If you're looking for some, starter easy demons, I gave you some. If you want to get into those. But yeah, I guess play at your own risk with like Deception Dive, for example. Thank you guys for watching. And like always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.